Hi, I'm Professor Susan, and today I want to talk to you about the parts of speech in English. And I want you to understand how I think about English and how I teach native speakers how to write and read better. And mostly when they're confused or their sentences are incomplete, I help them to break the sentence into chunks. And those chunks are organized by parts of speech. When I first started teaching ESL students, English as a second language, I would try to help them by asking clarification questions of their writing. Or their reading. What's the noun? Where are the what are the words that belong to the verb? What are the adjectives and adverbs that sort of illustrate the nouns and verbs? And they didn't know what I was really talking about. They hadn't really learned English in the chunks of parts of speech. They learned them as sentence words in a string. But there's a problem in reading that way and writing that way. It only uses one part of your brain. It uses the left side of your brain. That's linear. But the left side of your brain can only hold on to so many words before it starts dropping them. Imagine if you're picking up different things. You pick up a sandwich and a bottle and a juice and a piece of fruit, and suddenly you don't have room for more than 3 in your 2 hands. And if you pick up something else, you might drop something, get confused, and it's difficult. The secret is that the left side of the brain puts things together in a string. And when it reaches a conclusion, when it finishes with one part of speech and moves on to the next in a sentence, it sort of snips it and tosses it to the right brain, and takes all those words and makes it one thing. Now you're not holding an apple and a sandwich and a drink and a bag of French fries. You're just holding a bag with all your food inside, your lunch. So the right brain is what transforms detail into a whole. And if you're not used to throwing it to the right brain to do that, you're going to get lost in anything but the simplest sentence. So this book is an attempt to teach English in a different way, to start you off with the parts of speech, to start you off with the groups that we think in, not to start you off with sentences. I mean, yes, it would be nice to be able to say, this is an apple, it is 12 o'clock. But those sentences, if you can't carry a conversation with someone, are kind of empty. But if you can create a beautiful image, if you know from poetry, sometimes a beautiful image is itself wonderful. So, an image would come from a noun. An action comes from a verb. But you have to know how to see the groupings of nouns, the words that signal that there's a noun coming, like a or the. The words that can't themselves be a noun, and so you've gotten the signal, a noun's coming, and so you're looking for it, and you're getting all these other words, pretty, big, blue, but you don't have anything to put them with yet, so you're holding on to the separate pieces, and then suddenly you have a bird. And now all of those things can collapse in your right brain into a pretty, big blue bird. And your right brain is what does that. And it holds that idea, and your left brain can go to the next part of the sentence. What in English would be the verb ideas. And read all those words and make it one word, one group, and toss it to the right brain. And it makes a new single image, so you can go on to the next part of the sentence. Each time the left brain is seeking in a line until it reaches the end, and the end is signaled by a change in the part of speech, from noun to verb or something like that, or preposition. And when it reaches that, it tosses it to the right brain, and the right brain takes all that, makes it a single thing, combines it with the previous, and you only have one idea to hold on to. So if you're not playing this game of tossing things back and forth between the two sides of the brain, you're not going to be able to read anything more than "it is 12 o'clock" or "I have an apple." So that's what this book is aiming to do. To introduce you to the parts of speech and all the various words that group together. So you have nouns and adjectives and a form of adjectives called modifiers like a and the. You have adverbs, you have verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and exclamations.